Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly radio show called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know by now that I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach, and I actually help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking skills, how to present, media skills, and crisis communication. If your association or if you're part of an organization that needs a keynote speaker for an upcoming conference, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I've got a number of good books on the market dealing with public speaking. My first book, Speak Without Fear, a public speaking primer, as well as my newest book, Perfecting Your Platform. And then my series, which is the radio show in book form, it's called Encouragement for Your Life. All these books are available on Amazon. You can go to Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, and all my books will appear. My book, Speak Without Fear, is also on Audible, and I'll be working to put my other book, Perfecting Your Platform, on that platform as well. Friend, I'm here to tell you that you matter. You're enough. You can live the life you were born to live by learning a few simple rules that I will share. Admittedly, tough love, but I believe you can take it. All right, so my theme for today is this. Friend, you need to be living to your full potential. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending this next half hour with me. Let's get started with today's exciting show. Hey friends, I've got to say my theme today fits right in with the holiday season as you are interacting with so many members of your family. I just want to remind you that I want you to live to your full potential. Listen, I'm sure you've heard 1,000 times, hey, you should live up to your full potential. And although I believe it's true, I have to ask, what does that mean for you? Have you ever thought about your full potential? Meaning, is there something that you would give your all to, holding nothing back and being empty when you're finished, only to refresh yourself and start over again? If you were to look online, most of the sites that deal with living to your full potential are really about leading and living your life fully in about 7 major areas: physically, mentally, spiritually, socially, emotionally, financially, and in your environment. When you think about that, that's a lot of amazing living, assuming you are aware that you have these areas to grow more fully in. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the definition of potential is this: existing impossibility, capable of development into actuality. Now, I got to say, that is great news for some listening today because many of you are existing in the possibility. You're being your best self and consistently pushing the bounds of exceptional behavior to push to the top and beyond. Now, for the rest of you, there's a little hope that with time and effort, you're capable of developing your potential into actuality. I must admit, I like the idea of developing your potential into actuality because many people I know are on, well, I'll just say, they're on the cusp of doing great things. They just need a little push to get over the top. So let's talk about what it would take to help those who have the possibility of living to their full potential. And then I want to talk about those who, with a little reinforcement or encouragement, would be capable of developing themselves into the actuality of living the life they desire. Okay, before I begin, there is one issue that both sides need to address, and that's the use of fear. You know it. Fear is everywhere. While it can be a driver for some, it makes others come to a complete stop in their lives. I don't know what fears you have, but I do know that if you will find the courage to face them, you will most likely find yourself living in your full potential. I love the acronym for the word fear. You can choose to forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. It's been said that everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So with that in mind, let's find a way to put fear behind you so you can do what you were born to do. And then, friends, you can live to your full potential. See, I believe you have the possibility of living to your full potential if you are willing to do 2 things. All right, number 1, For goodness sakes, stop listening to those who do not build you up. And number 2, you must start doing one thing daily that will build for your success. Probably the one thing I do to encourage people to move into the direction of their full potential is to stop talking to friends and family who put you down, who don't believe in your goals, or who are always negative when you talk about doing better or being better. I don't know why people do that, and if they do, you must walk away. Now listen, you can still be friends. I think you can still be friends with them, but for goodness sakes, don't share your life goals with them. The old saying is, they won't understand since it's not their journey. And I'll admit most of them would never put the effort into finding their best self. Listen, when you hang around people who don't support you, it causes undue fear because you are always on pins and needles around them, knowing that they will, by their words or actions, crush any positive movement you've been making toward the achievement of your personal goals. Sometimes the negative talk or comments, they're on purpose because they don't want to see you succeed. All right, I said it out loud. They don't want to see you succeed because it shows where they are in their sad sack sorry life. And sometimes family and friends do it because it's really who they are. Unfortunately, we all have friends and family that are negative, whiny, shallow, selfish, and they love living this mediocre life instead of greatness, because greatness takes work. Living a life of greatness, it takes work. It doesn't come easy. Living to your full potential is a daily exercise of positive self-talk and action. And friends, don't be put off by the idea of positive self-talk. For some listening today, you really are going to have to be your own best friend. And if you can't find others to give you words of encouragement, tune in weekly and let that best friend be me. Let me take a quick rabbit trail for those of you who don't have kids in the home. Your kids, and your spouse for that matter. I gotta just say, they don't hear a lot of positive comments about their looks, their weight, their height, their intelligence, their musical abilities, or their athletic strength from others. You, dear listener, may be the only person, besides a coach, who compliments them. So this season, consider it your job to be their cheerleader. Goodness knows, kids nowadays need someone to believe in them and not always beat them down to, quote, keep them humble, or some other ridiculous comment that people say. By the way, if someone ever says that to you, they're not your friend. They are selfish, small-minded people. Just my 2 cents. All right, quick story. I had an acquaintance whose family thought it was funny to call whatever kid on their birthday and tease them about their nose, their hair, their ears, and other personal qualities. It was a tease session that to them was harmless and funny, but to hear about it made me cringe. I really felt bad for the kid who had to hear from those who should have been their protector the silly and ridiculous comments about their insecurities. I gotta say, I'd have been crushed as a kid if that had happened to me. I gotta just say, there's no way that kid's gonna reach their full potential with that type of teasing, good-natured or not, because it cuts to the bone for kids and adults. It's gonna take extra encouragement to help that young person to find the strength just to be capable of developing themselves into the actuality of living the life they desire. So if you allow that type of teasing and harassment to your child, you might as well start saving your money for therapy sessions because your kid's going to need it. Or, hey, here's an idea. Be an adult for Pete's sake and knock it off. I got to say, it was interesting because I've seen this family for about 2 or 3 generations. Nobody's successful. They're average at best. And I have to wonder, is it because no one ever said you're rock star amazing? No, they thought it was funny in a very broken sense of the world to, in a sense, harass and attack the kid just for good humor, which wasn't humorous at all. All right, moving right along. I urge you not to allow anyone to tear down your kids or your spouse. You too need to stop listening to the naysayers. Because friends, if they can't say anything nice, just stop listening. Now, the second thing I would encourage you to do to help develop your potential into actuality is you got to do one thing daily that will push against your comfort zone. Friend, if you sit around dreaming and wishing for success and never take bold daily action to improve yourself, you're going to have a real hard time moving in the direction of your dreams. In fact, you're probably not going to do anything, go anywhere, and most likely you'll come to the conclusion that you're stuck. And then you're going to watch people succeed all around you who have less talent, but they have the will and desire to make their life better. Please hear me loud and clear today. You must do one small thing daily to live the life of your full potential. Dr. Henry Link said, "We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. Fear is nature's way of warning us to get busy." I love that. Fear is nature's way of warning us to get busy. Have you ever noticed when you're working, things seem to fall into place? And when you're not working, you spend an inordinate amount of time trying to get things going. Remember, sometimes what you're most afraid of doing is the very thing that will set you free. So friends, please get busy on your dreams, not your fear. To develop your full potential, I think you've got to be bold with a vision of where you want to go with your future. I know today sounds somewhat like a cheerleading session, but I got to think some of you need a cheerleader. Someone to give voice to the words that you need to hear in order to fulfill or develop your full potential. Because friend, I believe you can do it. You have a lot to offer. You have so much that you could give, and it would be appreciated and welcomed by people who love you and want the best for you. Please don't hide your gifts because a few people don't care. Give to those who do. And I'll say, please give generously. I asked when I started today, if you had ever thought about your full potential, and really, what does it mean? Is there something you would be willing to give your all to, holding nothing back? Friend, what do you need to do today to push against your comfort zone, to make you stretch to your full, unbridled potential? Do you need to go back to school and get a degree or finish your degree? Do you need to change jobs? Do you want to travel? Do you want to get healthy for life? Do you want to sing or write or speak? What would be the answer to the question of what's meeting your full potential? See, whatever it is, you know this potential exists in possibility because anything you dream you can do. And you are capable of developing your dream into reality. The key, my friend, is to let your faith be bigger than your fear. I'm going to go back to that one quote, Dr. Henry Link. We generate fears while we sit. We overcome them by action. Fear is nature's warning for us to get busy. And friend, for you to get busy, to live to your full potential, you've got to start today. I'm Deb Sofield. You're listening to Encouragement for Your Life. I'm going to take a quick commercial break. I'm going to come back with ways to put your fear aside so you can step into the light and be who God made you to be. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Hi folks, Deb Sofield here. If you're in a leadership position, you know how important it is to be able to present well, whether it's a shareholders address or a national sales meeting. If you've ever needed help in crafting the right message, or if your staff or sales team needs a refresher course on public speaking skills for today's market, or if someone you know is interviewing for a job or college or medical or law school, call me. In addition to being a national speaker, I'm an executive speech and corporate presentations coach, and I can help you craft a message for success. Don't waste your time and money on those who claim to be a speech coach, but no one would ever pay to hear them speak. Please hear it from me. Hire someone who does this for a living and does it well and is successful. You can't afford not to, because it's about you being your very best. Call me. I'd like to be on your team. I'd like to be your coach. Contact me through my website, debsofield.com. Welcome back, everybody. As I continue with my theme today of living to your full potential, I came across a really interesting article by Dr. Abigail Brenner, and it's called Strategies to Put Your Past Behind You. And the reason I thought that would be a good, acceptance into our conversation today, Some of you aren't living to your full potential because you keep living in your past. You haven't moved beyond some of the hurts, the anger, the frustration that's happened to you. So let's run through just a few ideas that may be able to help you put things in perspective. The author says this: "We all live in the past from time to time, especially when memories of the past are sweet and satisfying. Sometimes we live in a past in an effort to, quote, redo what has happened to us, especially when the experience was not a good one. When all's said and done, it's safe to say, try as we might, we simply cannot do over what has already happened. We have a choice. We can continue to live in the past in a way that's not helpful to us, and in some cases even detrimental, since living in the past prevents us from being in the here and now and creating an ongoing future. Obsessing over the shoulda, woulda, coulda is really a waste of our time and energy and emotions. So instead of that, we can choose to learn from our experiences so that our future is free from making the same mistakes. And the choices and decisions that we make now, well, they'll be better ones. When you put your past behind you, you will accept what happened, and then you'll be willing to let go of what happened in the past. So here are some strategies for closing the door on the past. Number 1, consciously decide to put the past behind you. Now you may say, Deb, that's kind of obvious, right? But actually it isn't. Consciously means being aware of what happened to you, understanding how you were affected by it. So friend, you're not just mired in blind emotion. Making a decision means that you've weighed out your choices and have elected to pursue a course of awareness and insight. Next point's this: take complete responsibility for yourself. It's ultimately up to you to take the necessary action to help you move forward. So you should ask yourself, what or who are you holding on to? And why? And how does holding on to the past make you feel? Does it feel better to live in the memory of the past and the fantasy of what could have been, rather than face the reality of the situation? Is it easier, more soothing to hang on to a situation the way it once was, or the way you wish it had been, instead of how it actually turned out? Are you using this holding on as an excuse to remain in limbo? In other words, is dwelling in the past taking you away from moving forward to your future? Are you trying to avoid dealing with loss and the void that loss creates? And what do you believe will happen if you do let go of the past? See, being as honest as you can be will pay off in the long run, because the pain and hurt, anger and disappointment will over time diminish. And once you've cleared the way for a better, more realistic understanding of the situation, friend, you will be taking responsibility. The next point is accept the past as it is. There's a famous author named Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, and she wrote about the 5 stages of grief, and it's a model for dealing with putting the past behind us. The stages of grief preceding acceptance are denial, anger, bargaining, and depression. Ultimately, the goal is acceptance of the past as it is, not as you wish it had been. It's an acceptance of the fact that the way things were is no longer sustainable. When you accept that reality, as hard as it may be, my friend, it opens the possibility for new things, different perspectives, and maybe an expanded consciousness. The next point is to make a plan for your immediate future. Determine what's most important for you in the here and now and moving forward. You may have no idea what your future will look like, but taking small steps will help move you in the right direction into your future. Perhaps you have to reorder your priorities so you can explore different possibilities and opportunities. Try something new and out of your comfort zone. It only matters that you tried, even if it doesn't work out. If you can't see a clear path ahead, well, sometimes you might need to make one. Her 5th point is gather your strength. What are your positive aspects? What are your talents, your gifts, your assets? Where can you make positive change in your life? Again, a very small change, well, that's all that's really needed. So what can you change now? What action can you take immediately? Determine what you need, what makes you happy, what empowers you. Rather than putting others first and or trying to please everyone but yourself, maybe for once you surround yourself with people who have your best interest at heart, those who understand you and support you and encourage you. It's important that you forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness allows you to accept past actions, even while you may still have questions and concerns about them. Often people do what they do for themselves without intending to cause hurt or harm to someone else. So remaining mired in past events and emotions, surrounding them keeps you stuck and angry. Instead of spending an undue amount of time and energy trying to make sense of what you really may never find answers to, maybe you should rewrite or reimagine your past. And maybe far healthier to allow yourself to forgive past events and people and those who hurt you and move to another phase of your life. Likewise, forgive yourself for your actions and involvement. You may have done the best you could, and it may not have been enough, or the circumstances did not allow for the results to happen the way you wanted them to. Or you may not have understood the reality of the situation or the intention of those involved. Here's the key. Don't beat yourself up for what you didn't know or understand. One of the most powerful lessons here is to learn lessons from the past. As with anything that happens in life, there's always new things to learn about ourselves. It's ironic, but true, that the events and relationships that seem to hit us the hardest are those that didn't work out. The emotions of anger and hurt and disappointment and sadness, well, they're hard to deal with. See, when things don't work out for us, in a weird sense, we feel deprived of what we thought we desperately wanted. We may feel rejected. Our self-esteem may feel under attack. We may feel like the floor is falling out from under us, like we don't control our destiny. But think about this. Life lessons are good if you heed them. If you can wait long enough to get the message, there's so much more room for growth and ultimately for making better and better choices about the life you want to live. I'm going to leave you with a final article. It's called Signs You Need to Step into Greatness and Leave the Fear Behind by Deandra Ross. She says this: all accomplishments in life happen when we push past fear. You really never know what you can do until you do it. See, fear has a way of making people run away from greatness, but it's important to glean a fighting mentality. Our friend, fight for your life, as you have all the right to. Make fear submit to you and use it as a stepping stone. Now listen, it's always easier said than done, but when you want to win in areas of your life, you've got to put your best foot forward and put up the fight. So here's the question. How bad do you want it? See, fear does not fight fair. The reality is, fear comes at you fast, from all directions, and it doesn't care what condition it leaves you in. It reminds you of your past failures, the numbers of doors shut in your face. It consumes you of worry and makes it easy to disqualify yourself. When constant doubts are coming at you at once, catching you off guard, you may be ready to tap out, but don't. See, winners win from the inside out, to not only put up a good fight, but for your willpower to be just as solid as your strategy. Plan, then execute. Have the right people in your corner and give it your all. Living in greatness and shining in your purpose is not for the timid. Friends, you can't allow the fear of rejection, the fear of failure to knock you out of what is rightly yours. Remember, fear does not fight fair, and neither should you. Friends, the world needs your purpose and gifts more than ever. So don't let fear trick you into thinking that you are not enough, that you're incapable of doing anything, that you are not equipped to do the job at hand. Go out and win for everyone, including yourself, because we need you in the battle for greatness. So I had to edit that just a little bit, but I like the idea of it, friend. It's true. Fear doesn't fight fair. So you're going to have to step up to the plate and swing for the rafters. Why? Because you can do it. You have a higher calling. People are looking to you for leadership. There is no excuse for not living to your full potential, your God-given full potential. And as you're looking through these holidays and heading into the new year, please consider what you have to offer. Dust it off, polish it up, and get ready to step into the light. And know that I'll be here every week to cheer you on because I believe in you. And now I need for you to believe in you also. And those who love you and support you and encourage you, let's thank them and move forward together. I love this theme, friend. You should live to your full potential. So many of you are living your fear and not your life. And you know what? That's just not who you are. I know it. You know it. So now let's get to work. I'm Deb Sofield. This has been Encouragement for Your Life. I hope you'll join me next week. Same time, same place. Have a good one, everybody.